Hello and welcome to episode 6 of We Need to Talk About Richard and Theo. Now, due to some technical problems, by which I mean I recorded the sound badly, we don't actually have any usable audio for this week's episode. Added to this that Theo has gone away. So, I'm going to tell you the story of the best and simultaneously worst person I ever met on the way to a comic convention. This is the story of Zorro. I was in Sydney a couple of years ago on my way to a comic convention, and there was line maintenance going on, so I had to take a different route to get there. And I caught a couple of buses and ended up at this train station, which apparently was the right one, but of course I can't read signs, they're too far away, and I had no idea which platform to be on. Until I spot this guy in a Zorro costume, and I think to myself, okay, well, I'll just sort of loiter near him and follow him to the convention. So I'm standing about 20 feet away from him, and he looks over at me and he spots that I have a big tube of posters under my arm to decorate my booth with. And he walks up to me and he says, "Are you going to Supernova?" And I said, yes, thinking to myself, oh god, a person talking to me, why? And he says, "Oh yeah, me too. Can you guess which character I'm dressed as?" And I look at him and he's got a Zorro costume. No hat, but a full, obvious Zorro costume with the sword and the mask and the moustache. And I said, "Yeah, you're Zorro." He looks at me really confused and he says, "How can you tell?" "Well, you've got a costume on." "Yeah, but I don't have the hat." Okay. Things go quiet for a while, and then he turns to me again and says, "Do you know which Zorro I am?" Now, in my mind, there's only one Zorro. Like, yes, there are many different interpretations of Zorro, but there's only one Zorro. And I try and explain to him that it's not like Smurfs. There aren't lots of different, there are lots of Smurfs, but they're a different thing. And he says to me really seriously, and he gets quite close to me at this point and says, "I'm Antonio Banderas. He's the only Zorro with a moustache." Okay. "Do you know why I go to Supernova?" "No," I say. "Well, I'll tell you. It's not for the celebrities. It's not for the toys. It's not for the comics. It's not even for the lunch." Now, not even for the lunch. Like, this is a place which, in pride of place out the front, is a van selling chips on a stick. This is not a place that anyone goes for the lunch, but I humour him, and I say, "Okay, well, why do you go?" And he says, "I just go so people will photograph me in my costume. Last year, I went as Morpheus from The Matrix by, wearing sunglasses, and not a single person photographed me. So they better photograph me this time." "Oh, okay. Well, they might not. You don't have the hat." "Yeah." Then the train arrives, so I hurry to the other end, get on the furthest away carriage, and sit down. The doors close, the train starts, and I'm thinking I'm free of Zorro. I was wrong. 5 minutes into the incredibly long journey, the doors between the carriages open, and in walks Zorro. He sits down next to me, puts his foot on my lap, and says, "Do you have any tape? I'm really scared my shoes might fall apart." Regular shoes, normal shoes. Normal shoes do not fall apart. His were normal shoes, they were not but fine, and I did have tape, so I obliged, took a roll of tape out of my bag, and watched as he proceeded to wrap both feet in an entire roll of masking tape. For no reason. He then handed me the tape back, the empty cardboard spool that had come from, and then asked me, "Can you guess where I'm from?" Like, no. "I'll give you a hint. I'm from a place where there's a famous person from that place, and when you think of the place, you think of this famous person." No idea. "I'll give you another hint. I'm related to the famous person." Really? Still no idea. "It's Count Dracula." Of course it is. "Yep. Can you guess where I'm from? Is it Transylvania?" "It is. He's my 5 times great-grandfather. You want to know what my name is? I absolutely do. My name is Transylvania Dracul. The thing is, my parents didn't know that I was from Transylvania when I was born, and when I realised, I had to get my name changed. But it's a really long name, so I'm thinking about just changing it to Blade. Later on in the conversation, he also kind of implied that he might have killed his second wife, so I left.